guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. It's just gone 7 o'clock and it feels like winter again. The weather is absolutely horrendous. It really is. I mean, actually, the beginning of the week it was really nice. You really felt like kind of spring had arrived, but the last couple of days it kind of really feels like a return to winter again, which is just disgusting. So anyway, I hope you've all had a decent week. I've had my week. This week's not been too bad. It's been better than it was last week, which is good. But I'm delighted it's the weekend again. So yeah, what have I been doing with myself? Gaming wise, I was at the computer club on, what day was it? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Always a really good night. I didn't actually manage to go to last month's because my guitar lesson it fell on the same day, so I couldn't go to last month's. But yeah, this week's was really good. There was a couple of new guys came along. One of the guys brought a Neo Geo the CD, and I've got to say, although I've had like a Neo Geo emulator on multiple systems, you know, you can play. I've been playing Neo Geo games for years under emulation. There's just something extra special about playing a game on the proper hardware. I don't know what it is. It's hard to really say what it is. I mean, I was talking to the guy that brought it along, and I was, we're trying to figure out what it is. I think if you're sitting at a PC and you're using a gamepad and you're playing, say, a Neo Geo game or a Mega Drive game, a SNES game, it doesn't really feel like you're playing one of these games. Yet you might be playing Mario Kart, but it just doesn't feel like Mario Kart because you've not got the proper controller and you're sitting in front of a PC or monitor. But when you've got that actual piece of hardware in front of you, and probably more importantly, you're using the controller, I think you then know that you're playing the original hardware, and it just feels so much better. I suppose it'd be a bit like, in fact, the guy made that quite an interesting comparison. He says it'd be like playing the most realistic Ferrari simulator in the world, but it'll never ever be as good as actually driving a Ferrari for real, But yeah, I think when it comes to hardware, I think it's possibly the controller and the fact that you've got this thing in front of you. It just really makes it. It really, it makes the experience so much better. I'd love to get a Neo Geo, I must admit, but I think they still go for quite silly money. So unfortunately for me, I'm going to have to continue with emulators for the time being. So that was Tuesday. Why was it? I took along my Jaguar, my Atari Jaguar, which it seems to have gone up in value vastly. Don't know what's going on, but then you find out with a lot of sort of retro hardware, it gets really popular and then the prices shoots up. So I took along my Atari Jaguar to the club, and there's probably, to be honest, there's only one game that I would say is really worth playing, and it's Tempest 2000 by Jeff Minter. So I was playing that, and it just ignited my my enthusiasm for playing Tempest again. So I've been playing TXK, and I've been absolutely caning Tempest 2000 on the Jaguar. And it may not be the best version, it may be a bit fiddly with the sort of gamepad thing, but it's funny, Tempest was a game, that I just completely turned my nose up at. If anybody mentioned Tempest, I wouldn't have been interested. But now I just love the game to bits. It's such an intense shooter. It's a simple game, you just rotate round and you fire and that is it. So I've been playing a lot of that. I also downloaded Grid Runner Revolution, I think it is, on the PC, bought it in Steam. Again, that's a Jeff Minter game. I've absolutely rediscovered Tempest, so I haven't rediscovered it, I have discovered Tempest, and I can now see what all the fuss is about. I mean, lots of people going about how wonderful the game is, and I've got to say it's just absolutely sublime. So yeah, really enjoying that. Nothing else gaming wise. Ava, my daughter's been playing a lot of the Nintendo Switch, which is good because I was a wee bit concerned that it was maybe not going to get used that much, but she's been playing a lot of Zelda. I've not had much an opportunity to play it. I said I had my computer club, and then I've had my guitar lessons as well on Wednesday. But she's been getting really far into it, and I've got to say I've got absolutely no regrets about the Switch. I think there's going to be some great games coming out for it. I know Super Mario Kart is coming out. The only one disappointing thing for me with Mario Kart is it's Mario Kart 8, and I believe it's a straightforward port of the Wii U one, which we already own. But I think I think the game is going to come into its own, or not the game as such, the hardware is going to come into its own when you can play two players using a little gamepad. Now I know you can connect an iPad up and get two controllers, but you know, I just think being able to play something like Mario Kart on the move is going to be pretty awesome. So that comes out, I think it's next month at some point. So that's been it. I've also I also took along. No, I didn't take it along at all. What did I do? I dug out my RetroPie cab. I don't know. I can never actually figure out what to call it. My little bar top arcade cabinet. I dug it out yesterday, and I made a video. I just wanted to let people see just how good Raspberry Pi is. You know, I've seen a few people saying that they don't think Raspberry Pi is really up to the job of playing arcade games, but unless you're into, I don't know, you want to play Tekken, you know, games like that, 3D fighting games, or you want to play like Ridge Racer games, then yeah, Raspberry Pi is not what you want. But as far as anything else is concerned, stuff like Power Drift, Outrun, Space Harrier, all these games, even like, you know, Street Fighter 2 Alpha, 3, is it 3 Alpha, whatever it's called, they play beautifully. So I just wanted to, it was an excuse for me to get the machine out, and just enjoy it again. And honestly, I really, it's a crime that I've not used it as much as I should. I mean, I built the thing, you know what I mean? And every time I do play it, I always realise, you know, just what a wonderful little machine it is. Not what I've built as such, but the actual RetroPie hardware is awesome. But the wee cab itself is excellent. It says my mate Mike put the controls in for me. It's a fantastic little machine. So I really need to make more use of it. So yeah, that's been what I've been up to gaming wise. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a video response to my mate Ben. He asks various questions. I'm going to be doing a VR to that probably on Sunday, so I'll get that. I was thinking about adding onto this waffle, but I've got a few questions to answer tonight, so I think I've got more than enough material for tonight. So yeah, now one other game that I've been playing. Now I don't play games on mobile phones at all, or tablets. I used to years ago. I mean, the only game that I ever play on my phone is Grid Runner by, again, Lamasoft. It's a fantastic little game, but I just don't play any games. But what was I playing? I was playing... I'm completely contradicting myself. I'm telling you that I never play games on mobiles, and then I'm telling you that I'm playing a game on a mobile. The only game that I play on a mobile is Word for Friends, and it's Scrabble. And you add your friend and you take turns to play a word. If anybody wants to add me, I think it's Mamemeister. Feel free. It's Word for Friends. You can either use your iPhone or your Android phone. Add me if you want. Create a game. You basically take turns. That's really good. But because it's Android, you get a lot of adverts. Now, one of the adverts that popped up was for a game. What's it called? 8-Ball Pool on Android. So I just thought, oh, what the hell, it'll probably be absolute bollocks. So I downloaded it, and yeah, it's got adverts galore. But you know what? It's an absolutely fantastic pool game. It really is. It's obviously top down, you're looking at it, but the movement is just so fluid. The movement, the angles is wonderful. But what really, really makes the game for me is, I mean, I don't create an account. It's one of these games you can create an account and you earn points and this kind of stuff. So I just go and I play as a guest basically. But you can just start the game and you just hit one against one, and it will instantly match you up against somebody, and you play online against somebody. Archie, stop it! A dog licking the tripod. Yeah, it's a fantastic little pool game. It's so playable, but as I say, not the animation as such, but the movement, the physics, it's just absolutely sublime, and it's so playable. And the fact that you can just play against people online instantly, it's one of these brilliant games where you're sitting in the toilet and you think, I'll have a quick game of pool. So it's what do they call it? 8-ball pool. Go and check it out. If you like pool games, then go and check it out. I love it. I've been playing it for the last 3 or 4 days, and it's really addictive. But it's awesome. It really is. So yeah, that is all I've really got to talk about. Right, kicking things off question wise, Craig Wilson. Thank you, Craig. A remake of one of my favourite games on the Master System and PC Engine, Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Curse, is coming to modern consoles, including the Switch. What older games would you like to see remade for modern consoles? The thing about that, Craig, for me is most of the games, the old games that I like, are generally arcade games. And probably you wouldn't get many arcade games getting released for kind of modern consoles. So a lot of the stuff like I like Robotron 2084, it just wouldn't be a good game. Is there a game that I play that I think would be good, even like in the PlayStation, something like that? You know what? One game I would like to see is Destruction Derby, which I had on the PlayStation. It was a really good game. It was the first one in particular, really good. It was a really interesting game with good game mechanics, and the fact that you could just, the point of the game was to smash into other cars. I think that would be excellent. When you see the physics I've got now in games, I think a remake of Destruction Derby on like the PlayStation 4 would be pretty wicked. Any other games, like 8-bit games, I mean stuff like Drop Zone or Super Pipeline, I don't think you would add anything to it putting out in a new machine. I think something like Super Pipeline with fancy graphics, it would just lose some of the appeal. So 8-bit games I don't think would really benefit. One game I'd like to see, if they stuck rigidly to the playability, and even probably, well, it doesn't. You could possibly improve the graphics a wee bit, but if they got the same playability and they just made it bigger and better, would be Sensible Soccer. I mean, I loved Sensible Soccer to bits. So a new version of that would be nice. I know John here is working on Sociable Soccer, which I've played the demo. It was at Play Glasgow last year, and it's actually really good. But I can't think of any other games. I mean, obviously there is a lot of games that do get remakes, but I can't think of anything. But nah, I'm going to go for Destruction Derby. I'd love to see a brand new version of that, as long as it's stuck to the formula, but just improve the graphics, made a lot more realistic. So yeah, anyway, Craig, thanks for the question, mate. Dave Lester, is that Dave Lester? Tom, are you a player or a collector? Can you be both? A player or a collector? Now, I've always told people that I am not a collector, though that may technically not be true. I always think of a collector as being somebody, whether it's video games or stamps or whatever, they just want to gather, they want to get as many of something as possible, but they may not necessarily, use it or play it. They want to put them on a shelf or put them into a box and never actually touch it. That's what I deem as a collection or a collector. I've always maintained that I am first and foremost a gamer, but because I like old systems, I like to try and get as many old systems as I can so I can play the games. So I would say I'm probably a bit of both. I would definitely say I'm probably 75% gamer, 25% collector. There's not many things that I buy just to have. I generally buy, if I'm going to buy a game, it's not to say, oh, I've got this fancy game, whatever, but it's a game that I buy so I can actually play it. I mean, you'll get collectors will pay an extortionate amount of money for something, you know, what was I reading about recently? There was something really daft. I can't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I wouldn't pay big money for a game. I mean, I suppose the yardstick to answer that question would be if I had the opportunity to buy a game boxed and fully complete for £50 or unboxed for 20, I would go for the £20 one every time. Not because I'm Scottish or I'm mean, but you know, I just want to play the game. I'm not interested in buying it just to have in the box. In fact, this is a kind of bizarre thing, but I will sometimes, if I'm looking for something, a piece of hardware, and you get the opportunity to get it boxed or unboxed, even if the money, I mean, if the money was the same, then you'd probably say, yeah, I'll take the box one. But sometimes the fact that something's boxed, you know, some vintage piece of hardware, the fact that it's boxed puts me off it because I'm buying it to use. I'm not buying it to keep in a box to hopefully, you know, appreciate and value and then sell it. I buy it to play. And so if I do that, I end up putting a box into the loft and I know it's going to eventually deteriorate, you know, and probably get chucked out. I mean, a few years ago, I was up doing a clear out in my loft and I actually threw out, I mean, there's probably retro geekers, collectors tossing in their grave when they saw the stuff that I was throwing out. I was actually going through, I threw out an Amiga box, Commodore 64 box, boxes that I've got no interest in. I'm not interested in selling stuff. Yeah, I know people will pay a lot more money for something that's boxed, but to me, a box is just packaging. I'm not really interested in a box, so I would always go for something that's maybe cheaper, but you know, I couldn't give two monkeys whether something's boxed. As long as it's in good condition, then I'm happy. So with that in mind, I would say it is possible to be both these people. Amma says maybe 25% collector, but I would definitely say I am 75% gamer. So anyway, listen, thank you very much for your question, mate. Righto! Yep, thanks David for your question. I appreciate that. Please keep them coming. More for next week. Doug Scullery, thank you, Doug. With advances in recent years in I'll start again. With advances in recent years in programming tricks on the C64 Spectrum, which games from the early years would you nominate for a modern day makeover? To take advantage of the improved graphic capabilities. Blimey, that's identical to Craig's question, Doug. I've already answered that one. Yeah, I'd like to see Destruction Derby. And Doug's saying here, personally, I would love to see some of the early Ultimate games for the Spectrum, Jetpack, Attic Attack, given the multicolour sprites shown to be possible with the Nirvana game engine. Ah, right. Sorry. You're talking about remade for the existing hardware. Got you, yep. Or should we leave these classics as they were in all their flickery charm? Right, no, that's a different question from Craig. Yeah, there's been some absolutely stonking remakes on some of the 8-bit machines. I mean, obviously the computer that's close to my heart, the Commodore 64. Some clever guys brought out a new version of Commando. They took the original Commando game by Elite and they added in the 5 missing levels. They improved the graphics, improved the controls, they took away the flickering, really made it a lot better. They did the same with Ghosts and Goblins, you know, again adding in the extra levels and just generally tidying up the graphics and making them look better. Bit of parallax scrolling, stuff like that. Really awesome game. Is there a game I'd love to see get a remake? I don't know, I think, like, you know, my heart lies with arcade conversions, so I suppose stuff like, you know, I love the Konami games. I'd love to see a really good faithful version of Track and Field for the Commodore 64. Yer Kung Fu, Rolling Thunder, all these kind of classics. Yeah, I would love to see new versions of these. It's interesting, you know, I've spoken to a few people about why do we still like to play new versions of games on, say, the Commodore 64 or Spectrum. when we've got access to the arcade. And yeah, having the arcade version on your computer does take away a certain amount of the appeal of playing these old games, because you can play the original. I mean, back in 1985, I didn't have any access to arcade games. I didn't live near to an arcade at all. The only time I got to play an arcade machine was maybe if I was at the chip shop or on holiday, and even then it was usually the service station going down to England on a camping holiday. So because I couldn't access arcades, then the C64 was the only version I could play. So obviously I wanted it to be good. But now I've got access to 10,000 arcade games. All these original arcade games, I can play the arcade version. So why would I want to play what is going to be an inferior version on a computer? But I think a big part of the appeal is just the nostalgia side of things. I still love old systems. I still get as much enjoyment out of playing old systems. I'm just watching that dog. Don't you dare knock that over. Yeah, I still enjoy playing 8-bit machines. You know, it doesn't matter to me what graphics are like. It's all about the playability. But yeah, I would like to see some of the Konami games. Like I said, Track and Field, I would love to see a good version of that for the C64. So if anybody's watching this and you're quite talented at making games, there you go. If you want a beta tester, I'm your man. Anyway, dog, yep, fantastic. Thanks for the question. Down the rabbit hole, Kevy baby. Have you heard an unreleased Sega Dreamcast game was discovered on a development kit and was modded to work in real hardware? I didn't, Kev. No, you'll need to tell me. You'll need to give me links to where you get all this information from. I wasn't aware of that. I know there was a few games. Was it? Oh, what was it called again? Something Propeller. It's basically a flight simulator. And it was based on a Sega arcade game, and I think the game was finished, but for whatever reason it never saw a release in the Dreamcast until somebody discovered it and released it. What was it called? Propeller. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, interesting. What kind of game is it, Kev? You'll need to put a wee link to that in the comment section below, Kev, if you wouldn't mind. Let me check it out. Do you have a Dreamcast, and what do you think of it? I certainly do. I've actually got two of them. I've got one up in the loft, and I've got one here, sitting right there. What do I think of it? It's a fantastic machine. In fact, I'm going to read the next part of your question. A friend of mine asked if I wanted one, and I'm not sure there are too many titles on that console that I would like. What would you say are the must-haves? Well, I've got to say, Kev, if you've got the opportunity to get a Dreamcast, grab it with both hands. The Dreamcast, it's a fantastic machine. It's probably one of the best machines I've ever actually owned for arcade games. Must-have games. If you're into vertical shooters, then you've absolutely got to get one. It's got fantastic shoot-'em-up games. It really has. Other games, it's got Crazy Taxi 2, which are arcade perfect. I mean, I think they use the same hardware as the arcade. Yeah, the two Crazy Taxi games are awesome. MSR Racer, it was the precursor to Project Gotham, and again, it's like photorealistic. They mapped, I think it was London, New York, all these places. It's an amazing game. What other games for the Dreamcast? There's loads of them. The Sonic games are good fun to play. There's a great driving game, Ferrari, is it F355, I think it is. It's an absolutely fantastic game. Power Stone 1 and 2, again, wonderful games. In fact, I'm looking up there. Hang on a second, let me have a wee look. What games have I got? What's that? Athlete Kings, which is an amazing... Athlete Kings is an amazing track and field game. There's also Shenmue. Now Shenmue it was so far ahead of its time. It was one of these games, I think it got released virtually as the Dreamcast was dying a death, and so I don't think it sold that many, but it was basically Grand Theft Auto 5 of its time. It was so far ahead of anything that had been done before, and it's set in the 80s, so there's lots of references to 80 games. There's even a bit where you can wander about and go into an arcade and you can play I think it is Outrun and is it Power Drift or Space Harrier possibly. There is meant to be a third version coming out. Now I think the first two, Shenmue and Shenmue 2, the Shenmue 2 came out for the Xbox, I believe. Now both games do go for quite a bit of money, but it's a great game. Yeah, it's not perfect. Some of the animation's a bit, not the animation, the acting's a bit wooden. But there's, honestly Kev, I mean, even if you're having to pay 50 quid for it, I would say absolutely get a Dreamcast. You can't call yourself a retro collector without a Dreamcast. It is an awesome system, and I really mean that. You will not be disappointed. And the great thing as well is, I mean, obviously you can't buy games commercially anymore, but you can quite easily download ISOs and you can burn them onto CD and play them. So get yourself a Dreamcast and you've got an instant collection of games as well. So absolutely, Kev, go and see your mate tomorrow. In fact, never mind tomorrow, do it now. Get on that phone him, tell him you want a Dreamcast, tell him Uncle Alan said you need to get it, or Uncle Mamemeister, whatever you want to call me. But absolutely, go and grab it with both hands, mate. Finally, did you hear that our mutual friend Vectrex Rowley had his Facebook account shut down? Facebook prompts people with unusual names to provide legal documentation to show it's their actual name, or Facebook will shut them down. It happened to me. I used to own a Down the Rabbit Hole account, but they wanted me to prove that's my real name. Instead, I have a Down the Rabbit Hole page. That's madness. I don't understand the thinking behind that, because at the end of the day, it's not providing any security, because you could make up a name, you could call yourself Fred Blogs, whatever. I don't understand Facebook's thinking behind doing that. But I noticed that Vectrex Rowley had his page closed down. He's now opened up a new one under his own name, but that's just crazy. What if this requirement comes to YouTube? What impact would it have? Well, yeah, I mean, most channels don't have their real names. It just wouldn't have the same effect calling it the Alan Stewart channel. Maybe it would. I suppose at the end of the day, it wouldn't really make any difference to me whether I was called Alan Stewart or Mamemeister, but it would certainly affect a lot of people, myself included, because my channel is called Mamemeister. Let's hope that YouTube don't go down that road. I don't see the point of it. I don't know, but yeah, why Facebook decided to do that is anybody's guess. For example, would your daughter Ava be less interested in her YouTubers if all their channel names were just their real names? I think she would, to be honest. I mean, most of her YouTubers, they have real names. I mean, our favourite YouTubers is Dan and Phil, two English guys. Is it bloggers, whatever they call, vloggers, I think they call themselves. They're massive, absolutely massive. So yeah, they're called Dan and Phil, but I'm sure if they were called their full names, it wouldn't really affect anything. But yeah, it's interesting that companies are doing that. I don't understand why Facebook are closing them down. I mean, you'd think they would give people who've got, like, say, Vectrex Rowley, the option to change it rather than close the account. That just seems a bit unfair. And you could understand why people would say, well, screw you, Facebook, I'm off. But what other options are there from Facebook, for social media? I mean, there's Twitter, but Facebook, love it or like it, love it or hate it, I should say, it does have its part to play. So anyway, yeah. So yep, anyway, listen, Kev, thanks very much. That is all my questions for this week's guys. One last thing, I noticed a comment on one of my videos, They Did What, it was Elite Software. A chap commented on it. I was talking about Scooby-Doo, the game Scooby-Doo, which never actually came to fruition. And a chap commented to tell me that he actually worked for Elite as a programmer. He's called Matt Wilkes, and he worked on Frank Bruno's Boxing. Grand National on the Amstrad, and also Scooby-Doo, the game that never was. Now, I like to take, if I get an opportunity to do something, I'll grab it. And so I took the opportunity to ask Matt, would you be interested in getting interviewed for my channel, and he said he would. So hopefully I'm going to try and tie up with him over the weekend, if not early next week. So have you got any questions? What to do, guys, is put your questions in the comment section below. I would normally put out a separate video, but I've not got much time to do that. So if you've got any questions for Matt, like I said, he worked with Elite Software back in the early 80s. Frank Bruno's boxing, you know, Grand National, which was based on the horse racing show, horse racing, I should say, and Scooby-Doo. It was a kind of cartoony type game which never actually came to anything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to speaking to Matt. I think he'll have a lot of interesting stories to tell. So if you've got any questions at all that I can ask Matt about Elite Software, please put your comments below. And that is it. Oh, one last thing. I don't do pickup videos, but I'm going to do a very quick one. As people know, I am learning to play the guitar very slowly. I've been going to my guitar lessons once a week. But one of my mates recommended this piece of software, so I've bought it. And it is this Rocksmith. It's, well, if you believe the hype, fastest way to learn the guitar. Now, a few of my mates have said that's not entirely true, but the great thing is it's got about 50 tracks in it that you can play along to. You plug it into your PS4. So let's see if this actually improves things. I got it for not a bad price from Amazon, so I'm going to get stuck into that over the weekend. It basically comes with a USB to whatever it is cable to the guitar, and then you play along to some tunes. So that's going to be my weekend taken care of. Lastly, guys, thank you very much to your continual support. I always appreciate it. You seem to be getting the subscriber numbers, which is fantastic. Have a wonderful weekend, and lastly, guys, thank you very, very much for watching.